The image of motorcyclists in America has ranged from danger-seeking outlaws to recreational weekend riders. And while that image has probably changed a lot since Marlon Brando starred in The Wild One, the history of the machines themselves is, well, just as intriguing as ever, especially to a writer, historian, and proud owner of a place called Cyclemo's up in Red Boiling Springs. It's not only a popular stop for day-tripping motorcycle riders, it's also a haven for those who revere the momentous motorcycles of American culture. The plan to build Cyclemo's Motorcycle Museum evolved when Mike Silvio was running a commercial landscaping business in Nashville. The seed of that plan was planted as a youngster when his dad inherited a 1936 Harley Knucklehead.
So I remember vividly as a 14-year-old being enamored with this pile of metal and not even knowing really what it looked like, and I sat out in the driveway for days with a toothbrush and WD-40 just kind of cleaning it up, trying to figure out what was what and even what color the bike was.
After restoring the Knucklehead, Mike became obsessed with vintage bike history, steadfastly building a collection of everything to do with American road machines from the 30s and 40s.
What's really, really cool about these old bikes is they all have not only a personality, but personal history. And every motorcycle in here tells a story. We know the history on the majority of the bikes in here, and it's fun to share it with people that are enthusiastic and interested about it.
Although he built it new, the structure looks like it's been here as long as Mike's collection. You feel that way when you walk into the place, where you first see the Cyclemo gift shop, reminiscent of a dealership from back in the day.
We wanted you to feel when you walked in our doors that you were entering 30s or 40s era motorcycle shop.
Then, after forking over a small admission fee, you've entered Mike's vintage motorcycle mecca. But you don't have to ride to appreciate the historical journey.
We've got military motorcycles that date back to World War II that were actually used in the war effort. We have racing motorcycles.
This police department model from 1947 is the only Harley made with a left-hand throttle.
Specifically set up for the meter maid to chalk car tires.
And it wasn't so they could have the right hand to shoot at people?
No. Contrary to popular opinion, it wasn't so the cops could shoot at you. This is a 1942 WLA Harley-Davidson 45. After the war effort, these bikes were either left behind, they were buried, they were junked. When you look at the pile of bikes right here,
oh, wow.
They were everywhere. It was actually cheaper to leave them over there than it was to bring them back home. This bike here was one of the hardest bikes for me to actually get.
Vintage Harley and Indian bikes have become valuable investments, and Mike's restoration shop has become the go-to place for everything from minor repairs to full-on restorations.
We do simple projects like an oil change on a late model bike or a tire or a brake job. But the fun stuff for us is really getting our hands knee deep into a restoration on a vintage motorcycle. That's just the best.
All my life I've been a traveling man. All my life I've been a traveling man. Staying alone and doing the best I can.
Well, here in the middle of Mike's museum, he's put together a one-of-a-kind collection that serves as a tribute to a truly brave Tennessean who traveled the country putting on daredevil shows under the name of Colonel Crash Brown, Hell Driver.
I shipped my trunk down to Tennessee.
Here's a guy who had no corporate sponsorship, and he was out there doing things that back then nobody was doing. He was the Evel Knievel of the 40s and 50s.
Mike produced a documentary on the life of Crash Brown, a Tennessee World War II veteran who supported his family with life-risking showmanship.
He designed a box like a casket and would lay down in the casket and blow himself up. He created all of these specialty items for his show, like the rocket, the Crash Brown rocket. He launched himself out of it 3 times, according to his family, and it was rubber band powered. Aircraft carriers their catch bands were made out of rubber, and he got a hold of some of that stuff and wound this rocket up, and they pulled a lever on that thing and he'd launch out. They said about 100 feet. And he said that was the closest that he'd ever come to getting killed. He was doing things back then that you couldn't even fathom doing today. No roll cages, no harnesses, no safety, anything. There's not one person that comes into this building that we're not talking about Crash Brown to. He's got a great home here.
Like Crash Brown, Mike uses his imagination and old parts to make things. Even new vintage concoctions like this monster he calls his Bonneville truck. It's powered with a 1970 V8 Chevy engine. Mike let me ride on a one-of-a-kind vintage chopper that he modified, promising it'd be a cut above anything I'd ever been on. Yes, it really cuts grass, and yes, it feels kind of silly riding it. Well, it's no joke that motorcycles have played a fascinating role in America's motorized moving history. And thanks to the passionate owner of Cyclemos, it's a part of history that will always keep moving forward.
It's an honor to have the opportunity not only to do what I love, but to bring these bikes back to life. We don't know where it's going to go from here, but what I do know is that our list of friends grows bigger, and we're excited to have the opportunity to continue to do what we do.